Run your day with Runday.ai.
Well, happy Monday, everyone. We have Eric here right before his honeymoon. Is that right?
Yeah, it's about time. My wife and I got married in November. My business partner and I got married in November, and we're finally going to spend 2 weeks in Europe. So France and Italy for 2 weeks.
Oh, I love Paris. Last time I was there, I did not want to go back. I was basically at the Plum Village. There's this monk, Thich Nhat Hanh. He's like the Vietnamese Dalai Lama in a way. They created this thing called Plum Village when they had to leave as refugees, and it was just so beautiful, and the art and everything in the museums. Have you been to France before?
Long time ago. I'm 45 years old, and I spent 4 years in the military. So I was in the Navy from 99 to 03, and I was a young, dumb, reckless man at the time. So I wasn't going there for history. I wasn't going there for culture. I was going there to be a dummy, and I basically just drank and partied for, the time I was there. But that was 25 years ago. Today, I'm really looking forward to soaking in the culture. I mean, just, going to Rome in the Colosseum or St. Peter's Cathedral. And then we're going to the Amalfi Coast. We're spending time in Paris. We're spending time in Monaco. We're spending time in St. Tropez. So we got a bunch of cool stuff. Ready to see it.
Yeah, Italy was my last planned trip. I was going to go to Milan with my fashion startup, and then I was going to go there to an event, come back, and then go back and forth to Colombia. And then COVID hit. None of that happened. So yeah, tell me more about the business, what you guys focused on, and what do you do for your customers?
Really interesting. There's not many 45-year-olds. Hate to keep bringing up my age, but I am a really unique tweener because I was born in 1980, so I have this real old school type work ethic combined with loyalty, and I understand how to build and develop relationships, but I understand the importance of modern marketing. So what my company has built itself on is modern marketing. So everything from PPC to meta ads to social media content and website design. But we've even taken it a step further because businesses want more. They want to build a brand. They want to build a personal brand. So what we've been helping them do is get podcast engagements, speaking engagements. We even have a speech coach on staff now that'll help our clients understand it's not just about telling a story on stage, it's about delivering a message on stage. So we're even helping a couple people sell books. So we've evolved from this digital marketing company to a PR company, and now really a brand builder.
And as you're building the brand, you're going into the PR. How did it get started? So what was the first couple clients like? What were the things that were important to them that they needed then? And then how has that evolved to what you're doing today?
Really good question. I did a interview. I was on the Dropping Bombs podcast last week, and I heard Brad Lee say everything that he's done great has kind of been by accident. And I almost feel that's what happened to us. And I think in business today, you can't be stuck in your ways, and you have to be nimble at any time. And if you sell real estate, it might not make sense to be an auto mechanic as well. But if you sell real estate, it may behoove of you to offer insurance or offer maybe relationships with contractors that you get a percentage of deals on. So for us, it was just really a natural play. So we had a couple of clients, and it was actually the book clients, because the clients came to us. We have 2 clients we're helping promote a book right now. And the reason for them promoting a book is really about not just selling book sales, not just increasing that, but building their identity and their brand, really doing a personal brand. And it just we're like, wait a minute, our clients want more. We need to give them more. We definitely can do this in-house. We have all the resources. We have all the knowledge. We have all the technology. So at the end of the day, we just wanted to be able to serve our clients better.
Yeah, books are really about leadership. It's been, for a long time, thought leaders in business have used books as sort of a way to express their credibility, their identity. I see this big transition in the podcasting. I mean, our podcast was sort of an AI accident as well. So it speaks about the power of the pivot, which I think most of my companies have sort of had one, concept and then really pivoted to like a different direction once they were in touch with the consumer or the buyer and saw the problems they really needed to be solved. So today, podcasting has kind of become that for us. So this podcast actually was an accident with the AI. So we had the AI come up with a bunch of sequences and variations. and to field test them on their own. And we had 178 people respond positively to the podcast. And, we had a podcast with our chairman, Gary Fowler, who has, he has 50,000 subscribers. He's done like thousands of podcasts, including people like, Steve Wozniak. But we were kind of leveraging, that, and then didn't have any intention to do our own podcast. And then we saw this incredible demand for it. And it's something that, it's almost like the new LinkedIn. It's like the way I'm seeing executives really connecting with each other, just like we're doing today. We met at the boardroom, the cigar lounge. We connected a little bit, but, we were busy. It was an event, and it's like, hey, let's get to the podcast. So, yeah, we would definitely encourage everyone to sort of think about what, and not every podcast is Joe Rogan. There's different styles, but think about what style of podcast would be best for you. And, for me, it's like the short form ones that are just a few basic questions to get to nobody, to really see their value proposition and how they can help the marketplace. What are some other podcast styles that you guys are doing or that are working well for your clients?
Well, at the end of the day, we've been bringing these podcasts to our clients, and what we've realized is that rather than trying to get in front of camera, say a bunch of really cool things, have some scripts written out. Here's the hook. Here's the super hook. Here's the CTA, right? Call to action and all these things. It is very hard for the average entrepreneur who's just doing home staging or roofing or whatever it is to make that type of content sound authentic. And at the end of the day, what content is about is, like you said, thought leadership, and it's really building credibility and trust, right? People see your face, people hear you, they see your communicational style, they align with you spiritually, ethically, and a lot of other ways. So really the style, it's not necessarily the style that matters to us, because every business is a little bit different. In my humble opinion, what really matters, we're getting our clients in a real life boardroom. And, I have this one client in, I guess I can name them, REH Interiors in Boca Raton, Florida. She does incredibly high luxury staging, $10 million homes plus on Palm Beach Island, and getting her into a environment where she was talking about the process that she was taking one of her clients through. We got some of the most cutting edge podcasting, authentic, organic content that we know is going to help her and her business accelerate that level of trust.
Yeah, I think it was, might have been Jon Stewart was talking about how, Hollywood spends, we talked about cameras earlier, but Hollywood spending so much budget on lighting and cameras and equipment just to get this perfection, and people in their bedrooms making TikToks are getting more views. What do you think it is about that kind of authenticity, or the types of authenticity you're referring to, that makes it so meaningful? Is it like things are so fake now that reality has more value? Because for a long time, it was like I came from the computer graphics world. We were always trying to put more and more horsepower, more compute, more artists into making more and more interesting looking special effects. And it's almost like that plateaued to a point where there was just so much of it suddenly that authenticity has made things like TikTok explode.
I don't want to claim to say I know the answer as to why. I think we can summarize that maybe it's once again, it's about the trust. We could surmise that there may be something bigger going on that I don't understand. What I can say is this: it is clearly true. Something about the staged content today, the scripted content today, versus the low budget quality content, right? It does resonate more. And what I call it is the fly on the wall content. It's almost as if someone is sitting on a couch over there just listening to the two of us talk. And it's almost like the people watching effect, right? People, they admit they love people watching. So it's an element of people watching, whatever that fascination is. I can't say that I can claim to know the answer, but what you're saying is 100% right. So this is clearly going to be the move for the next several years, it feels like. But once again, we have to stay ahead of it, because it may make another shift in 18 months or 2 years or 3 years. I think what matters the most for an agency is to stay on top of these trends for our clients.
Talk about some of the trends you're seeing and how you're leveraging technology and AI to help your clients grow even faster.
A lot of ways. A lot of times when people say AI, fortunately, they defer to ChatGPT. There's obviously a lot of other applications with AI. One of the things we've done is our app cost used to be outrageous. So some of our clients that it would benefit them to get an app, for, rewards programs or any of these types of services. At the time, an app may have taken us a long time to develop and build. And you might have to charge six figures. For the average business, the ROI, the short-term ROI may not have been there for them. Today, and I don't want to give out too many secrets and blow up people's businesses, but you can make an app much faster, much more affordable today through AI. So what we're able to do now is bring technology to clients that benefits them that may have been unattainable for them in years prior. That's one way. A lot of our workflows, obviously, we're able to expedite a lot of our workflows. But ChatGPT, I'll just go back to the basic one. You know what I've been telling my staff? It's funny. I know this doesn't have to do with our client, but I've been telling my staff, before you ask me, ask ChatGPT. And if you can't figure out the solution, I know that doesn't answer your question. If ChatGPT can't help you figure it out, I probably can't help you figure it out. But yeah, we're able to bring products to clients that were inaccessible before.
No, I know some companies are even doing policies where someone isn't using AI. It's like that's a reason to get fired or get a lower assessment score. It's ironic that the schools are kind of banning the use of AI, and companies are saying, look, why'd you ask me that before checking AI? It kind of goes back to when I was in college at Georgia Tech. There was a situation where a lot of students got written up for cheating. The parents actually got into a lawsuit with the school about this. So what happened was they were in lab, and this was before not just iPhones, but before people had powerful laptops. So we had to go use some microsystems workstations. I'm also 45, but that's what we used to have to do. So we went to the workstations to do the work, and they were sort of being written up for talking to each other about the project. And it was not clear that any communication of the project was not allowed. So the students were doing what they thought was honorable, but just it was kind of vague. And then one of the number one complaints of the graduates was that the students can't work on teams. And now I'm seeing this with AI where, it's like the schools are like limiting use of AI, and the employers are saying, look, if you're not using AI to be more productive, like you can't work here anymore. I want to get back to what you're saying about the app costs going down. So to definitely see that phenomenon, I have a theory I want to run by you. And I think, especially I'm very bullish on like the Meta glasses, like the Ray-Bans, and like this idea that we can have an Apple Watch or like a very minimal interface in our glasses, and it be primarily voice driven with very minimal visual user interface. So my view is, and the part of the thesis in Runday is that every business will just have whether it's a phone number or social media handle that their customers can communicate with. So I want a world where it's like the owner. Like if I knew the owner of a company and I want to get my dog groomed, I can just text the owner, hey, when can I bring Shiva in? Right? And like there's a certain experience there. So we're trying to create that experience for every business where you just message the AI and it says, it knows as much as an owner might and has access to everything. So you don't need to even download an app or go to a mobile website. I think mobile web has been, Mark Zuckerberg said it was like his biggest mistake ever. And that was, it's a decade later. I don't think HTML5 ever saved mobile web. Mobile web's kind of a disaster in a lot of major ways. I mean, it works well enough, but it wouldn't be the type of thing you would intend to create. So my view is we have an opportunity now to kind of take user experience to the next level by creating AI agents that are behind every company that you can interact with like the owner. What are your thoughts on that?
This is where my old school comes into play, because today at least, of course, you'll have a segment of the population that's very comfortable with that. Maybe our demographic and younger. Some older demographics might, I don't want to say turn them away from that dog groomer, but the more I think about it, maybe he or she will just get to interact with more younger demographic customers that are willing to schedule meetings or services that way. I'm still of the belief everybody has this thought process that AI is just going to take over the world here in the next 24 months. I do feel it's a little bit longer than that. I do think adaptation is going to take a little bit longer. Bitcoin a few years ago, people were calling it a fraud, a scam. I was investing in it back when it was $700. So it's kind of like Bitcoin in the sense that the reason I invested in it is I knew that there was a herd of people that believed in the longevity of it. So I invested in it. I didn't care really what it was worth or not. I just knew enough people believed that it was worth something, right? So I buy trading cards, sports trading cards. Some of these things are like $20,000, $30,000 a pop. It's just a piece of cardboard, but enough people believe that it's worth something, so it makes it valuable. So I just looking at Bitcoin adoption It's really been slow. I mean, some of the numbers, I don't know what it's at right now, 114. People were saying some people had this at 400 or 500 grand by now, looking years back. So I just think that the adoption, I don't think it's going to be as smooth and as rapid as people think. But of course, I like your idea of the utopian world for sure. And I don't know if I answered your question, but I tried to.
No, definitely. I think it was Bill Maher that was talking about like AI concerns. And then he sort of followed up with saying, but no one under 40 cares about these concerns. So it may be a generational thing. Did you call yourself a tweener earlier?
I did.
Okay, you don't use the term Gen X? Tweener. Okay, I use Gen X. Well, with that, let's close out. So if people want to contact you, work with you, what's the best way to do that?
Just follow my IG. I recently changed it. Long story on that, but it's Eric Winegard Official. And you can learn about me, who I am, what I do, and learn about my company and learn about my journey.
Thanks so much for being up here.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Take care.